Hey, Mike. What? Who's got next?
What's good, y'all? It's your man Hezo, and welcome back to the Blacktop, where I always got next, you feel me? So I got 3 teams on my mind for today's video, and that is the Lakers, the Nets, and the Sixers. And for 2 of these teams, is it time to panic? Big question marks surrounding them. A lot to dive into for this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Leave a like on the video. Help me get to my first 600 subs. I'm just under it. 700 is next up, so I'll greatly appreciate all the help and support I can get. I can't wait to see where I'm at by the end of this basketball season and by the end of the year. Let's keep this momentum going. And let's get right into it. Now, normally I would have on like a Lakers jersey or something to do with the team that I'm talking about, but they're an embarrassment. So I throw on the other team in LA that's playing tonight, the Clippers, because I love Paul George, I love Kawhi. I actually just got this shirt in the mail, so I wanted to throw it on for the sake of the video. The Lakers are such an embarrassment right now. They are arguably the worst team in basketball, and I'm not even saying that just because of their record. They're obviously 0-4. The Magic are 0-4, and the Kings are 0-4, the 3 winless teams in the league. The difference is those teams don't have 2 top 15 to 20 players. A top 5 player really in LeBron, even though he's clearly started to decline, and you could argue probably that he's not top 5 at this point. But either way, when you watch this Lakers team, they really are. They're bad. They are so bad. It is so painful to watch. They're at the bottom of the league in 3-point percentage, shooting 22% from 3 this year. They were the worst team in NBA history from 3 going into the game last night against Denver. That is just unacceptable for a team in 2022 in a 3-point driven league to be the worst 3-point shooting team ever. Now, that's not all on the entire, all the rotation guys. LeBron and AD do count for that as well. LeBron's shooting at 45% from the field, which is his second worst since his rookie season. He's shooting 26% from 3. AD's shooting, I think, 18% from 3. This team is at the very bottom in terms of points per game, next to the Clippers, ironically, who is kind of shocking, but Kawhi and PG haven't played every game like LeBron and AD have. It's just embarrassing to watch, man. This team is they're not a fun team to watch. It's when you have those guys, those type of guys in the rotation that are not normal rotation players, that's just, it's a setup for failure for LeBron. And I'm looking and I'm watching, and there's a guy out there by the name of Carmelo Anthony, who you chose not to resign, who's still a free agent, who shot close to 39% from 3 last year, averaged 13 points a game. Don't y'all think that the Lakers could use Melo's help right now? He would start on this Lakers team and give you 15 to 20 points a game because of his he's still a gifted offensive scorer, and he can still score at will when he gets the right amount of shot attempts and all that. I'm not out here selling that Melo's going to be the game changer for the Lakers and all that, and he's going to lead them to the playoffs. No, I'm not saying that. But it's crazy to think that there are guys out there that can help these type of teams that just have not gotten signed, but other guys on the roster, like a Troy Brown, like a Juan Toscano, like a Matt Ryan, who I always thought was a football player, who was a quarterback for my Atlanta Falcons for the longest time until he got traded. We ain't talking about football. But y'all get what I'm saying. The Lakers they are a disaster. They do not look good. This is not even a fringe play-in team at the moment unless they make changes. AD has played relatively well this season, and the Lakers are actually a pretty solid overall defensive team, and AD has been actually incredible on defense, don't get me wrong, but you can just tell that Anthony Davis is just not the same offensively. He doesn't have the same, step. He doesn't get up as much. He's lacking his shooting. His mid-range jumper has kind of declined. He just does not look the same, and you have to wonder, is that just his injury catching up? Is Anthony Davis already on the decline at 29 years old? That's very possible. So overall, before I get into my next team, when I look at this Lakers team, you have either 2 directions you can take. Either package your draft picks, like I was already saying, you can either package your draft picks with Russell Westbrook and get a Miles Turner or a Buddy Hield in return and try and build this team to make a run in the playoffs and potential championship, which I don't think will happen. It's just not enough talent. But get something in return for these draft picks to at least try to show LeBron you're committed to try and win before he's at the end. Option number 2, you have to blow it up. Trade LeBron, trade AD, trade Russell Westbrook. Just completely hit the reset button because you're currently constructed to not win, but you don't have young assets and you don't have draft picks to actually rebuild. So you're not a rebuilding team, but you're not a competing team. So when you look at the other losing teams in the NBA, the Pistons, the Magic, the Rockets, the Thunder, teams like that, those teams actually have young, talented players and draft picks that are actually in a rebuild, so you can understand why they're bad. The Lakers don't have that. They don't have young assets. They don't have draft picks over the next couple years until 2027. There's no excuse for the Lakers to keep those draft picks if they're going to keep LeBron and AD. You either do one or the other. Keep the draft picks and build and get rid of the LeBron and AD and Westbrook, or keep them and trade the draft picks and try and build a team out to make a run. Rob Pelinka has to do something, or like I said, you're going to have to just blow up the team. Trade your draft picks or blow up the team. Commit to one of the two and try and help out LeBron, or just get rid of him. Enough about the Lakers, man. Let's move on to the next team, and that is the not the New Jersey Nets. What the hell am I talking about? The Brooklyn Nets, man. The Nets have just been so bad this year. They're now 1-3, and when you look at this team, the Ben Simmons experiment has not worked out. Ben Simmons is a shell of himself. He is no longer an all-star. He will no longer be an all-star. I have always thought Ben Simmons was overrated. When you look at his career, he has never gotten better through the trajectory of his career. He's been the same exact player that he was his rookie season until now, except now he's probably worse. I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, he had 2 years off. I don't give a shit about that. This dude is not who he used to be. You can tell that Ben Simmons is mentally broken. He's scared to shoot. He's scared to get to the free throw line. He constantly fouls. I mean, he has almost as many fouls as he does points. That is unheard of. He's not the versatile defender that we've seen in the past. I mean, when they played the Pelicans, Zion was just having his way. He was just absolutely bullying Ben Simmons, and it looked like a man among boys that Zion was doing to this Nets team. Their defense is just absolutely atrocious, and a lot of this is on Steve Nash, man. I posted on Twitter a couple days ago. If y'all don't follow me on Twitter, make sure you do. Check the link in the description. At what point does Steve Nash get fired? At some point, you have to let go of Steve Nash. He's not the right coach for this Nets team, and Kevin Durant has already came out and said that, but Kevin Durant and Kyrie can only do so much with this team. Now, you still have to blame these two guys because they are the stars, but they don't have a great bench. They don't play defense, and Ben Simmons has been a disaster. He has been an absolute disaster. He's been one of the biggest disappointments that we have seen thus far this NBA season, and it's just really not even a debate. He is so scared to shoot, so scared to get to the free throw line. I've already mentioned that, and he's only shot like 9 free throws on the season, and he's made 3 of them. That just tells me that is all mental. He is mentally broken from Philly and that series against Atlanta. And you can say what you want about that. It is just in the eye test when you watch Ben Simmons play. He's passing up wide open layups and dunks to a Nick Claxton who's coming down the lane. I get it. It was still 2 points, but he had a wide open layup. Come on, man. Finish. You're 6'10" and you're athletic. Finish at the rim. He's scared to get fouled. It's just that simple. Ben Simmons is scared to get fouled. Now, I know Kyrie's came to his defense. That's fine, but Ben Simmons is clearly not the same. He's done as an all-star in this league, and I can see Ben Simmons playing himself out of the league in the next few years. That may be a stretch, but that's just the way I see it. I just don't see his value to an NBA team at this stage in his career. Now, that can change over the course of this season. It's a long season. I'm not going to overreact, but this Nets team has not looked good. I mean, when you look at the game last night against the Bucks, Giannis pretty much single-handedly beat them. He had like 43 and 15, and that's with no Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday struggling shooting the basketball. With essentially no bench production, Giannis was out there pretty much by himself and pretty much beat Kyrie, KD, and Ben Simmons, the big three that they have. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable for the Nets when you have two superstar players, and Giannis is out there by himself with Drew Holiday, who did not shoot the basketball well, and no Chris Middleton, and you go out and you can't even score 100 points. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing, and it is unacceptable for this Nets team. And people really had the audacity to say that they would have beat Boston, or they would have beat the Bucks the year before if they would have had Ben Simmons. Man, miss me with that bullshit. Because if you think that Kevin Durant is a better player than Giannis, you are highly, highly mistaken. Because Giannis is the best basketball player in the world, and it's really not a debate. And I don't care what nobody says. You're not gonna compare KD to Giannis, because right now Giannis is a superior player, and it's not close. Let's move on. Let's move on to now the Philadelphia 76ers. And this is another coaching problem, in my opinion, that the Sixers are facing. They are now 1-4, and this is supposed to be, in a lot of people's eyes, the championship favorite out of the Eastern Conference with the moves that they made in the offseason, and they still have a dog shit ass bench. I've said it from the beginning. I have been going on and on about how the Sixers bench is just not enough. It's not enough to win them a championship. You can't have no bench depth and go on to win a championship. Doc Rivers is a major problem right now. I've always thought Doc Rivers was an overrated coach. When you look at outside of the 2008 championship run he had with the Celtics, I want to ask y'all, what has Doc Rivers legitimately done as a coach that has been eye-popping? Outside of winning a lot of games in the regular season, all he's done is blow 3-1 leads in the playoffs and consistently lose playoff series that he should win. There's no excuse for Doc Rivers to be in the situation that he's in. At some point, Doc Rivers probably is going to be fired with this Sixers team. He's an overrated coach, and I don't think he fits well with this coach or with this team. Now, with that being said, he's not all to blame for the Sixers' struggle. Joel Embiid has not been the same Joel Embiid MVP candidate that we saw last year. He looks out of shape. He looks sluggish. He did have that 140-point game, and I think he had 26 last night when they lost to, was it last night or the night before that they lost to Toronto? Either way, I think he had 26 that night. It was 26 and 13, whatever it was. James Harden has looked pretty damn good and, you know, getting back in shape and everything. Tyrese Maxey has been Tyrese Maxey. He's averaging around 19, 20 points a game, which everybody expected. But the key stat that not a lot of people are paying attention to is the amount of usage that James Harden has with the amount of dribbles. Now, that doesn't sound like a crazy thing to say, but James Harden has taken more dribbles than the entire Sixers team combined. And that is wild to think about when you look at it, because that just tells me that Joel Embiid is not getting the ball enough in the post. He's settling too much outside of the post, which I've always said, get your ass in the post. You're 7 foot, 280 pounds. You have footwork like crazy. Get into the post and go to work. Stop shooting mid-range and three-pointers. It pains me to see a guy like Joel Embiid constantly on the perimeter when you can dominate guys in the post because no one can guard you. No one can guard you. Tyrese Maxey, I feel like, is not getting enough touches. I feel like other guys aren't getting enough touches, and the offense is being ran through James Harden too much. And that's not to take away from James Harden, because he's been incredible this season, other than the one stinker game that he put up. I think he shot like 4 for 18. But other than that, man, James Harden has looked pretty damn good. He's looked very close to the Houston James Harden that we have had. But overall, the Sixers team is struggling. You can tell that it's a problem. And I've already mentioned it. There's a guy out there named Carmelo Anthony. Why is he not getting a call from this Sixers team when their bench is so bad and you can clearly use a guy to come off your bench and score? And I feel like him and DeAnthony Melton would be a nice little scoring combo off the bench to help this Sixers team when guys like James Harden and Embiid and Maxey are struggling and not producing well offensively. You bring a guy like Melo in, that is a significant upgrade on your bench, and that can put you over the top. A team like Philly, I feel like Melo can put them over the top. Not a team like LA, obviously, but a team like Philly, yes, he could 1000% push this team to a championship caliber team, because right now they're not playing like a championship caliber team. Now, I get it. I've said I don't want to overreact these first couple games in. They are 1-4. It is still super, super early. I get all that. But at some point, if this team continues to lose ball games and they're 10, 15 games in, they're under 500, you have to start to hit the panic button, and Doc Rivers is going to be on the hot seat. Let's just call for what it is. Steve Nash is going to be on the hot seat if he's not already. Doc Rivers is going to be on the hot seat, and I hate to say it, but Darvin Ham, for as bad as that he's already set up for failure, he's also going to be on the hot seat. I'm going to pretty much leave it there, man. That is pretty much all I have to say about these three teams. I wanted to come on here real quick and give my opinion on where these three teams stand and whether or not they should panic. Y'all got my opinion. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Where do you see these three teams? Should they hit the panic button? What do you think the Lakers should do? All that type of stuff. Leave a like on the video, and I will catch y'all next episode.